Hello, brothers and sisters. So, happy graduation, actually, to all my brothers and sisters who are in high school graduating. Happy graduation. It's an amazing day. Hope you guys had an amazing graduation. At least Paris Union High School District, I know for sure. Today's graduation. Okay, so, point of this video. We're not good enough. Quite a way to start it off, but a lot of people out there make it seem or think, and there's misconceptions out there, that if I live a decent enough life, God will let me slide. That's wrong. We have a holy God. God says in the Bible, be holy, for the Lord your God is holy. Jesus said, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Obviously, looking all around us, the bar is pretty high. You see, even how messed up we are, we still value honesty, we still value loyalty, we still value generosity, we still value selflessness, we still value justice. All of these things we know innately deep down that are good. You can get a random child off the street who's never read any book, any literature, and they can tell you that honesty is right, justice is right, generosity, love. And they can tell you lying, hatred, envy, jealousy, rage, all of these things are wrong. We know them from the start. Why? Why do we know them from the start? Because we're made in God's image, not necessarily our physical appearance, but our very being, our capability to love, our capability to think, our capability to feel, our capability to express our feelings, our capability to be generous, empathetic, to be understanding, to be selfless. That comes from being made in God's image. There's a lot of evil, though. There is a lot of evil. It is not God. It is our mistakes. See, if we think that we're good enough, like jumping out of a plane without a parachute, we're going to be flapping our arms trying to save ourselves. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. I don't know the last time that someone has jumped out of a plane at 10,000 feet without a parachute thinking, yeah, I'm going to be perfectly fine when I land. No one jumps out of a plane without a parachute, or any reasonable person who wants to save their lives. So just like you put trust in the parachute to save your life, put your trust in Jesus Christ to save your life, because you can't hit the ground safely without a parachute. You're going to hit that ground and you're going to die. I'm going to hit the ground and I'm going to die if I don't put the parachute on. No one will. No one is good enough for God. A lot of people think, well, since I make mistakes and since I'm human, obviously God will let it slide. And as long as I live a decent enough life, I'll get to go to heaven. What defines good? I mean, who really says murder is bad? There's a deeper truth to that. There's a deeper truth to the things we see as wrong as a society still. See, in a world of subjectivity, where everything seems to be relative, it's very easy to hear people to say, I live a good life. What does good really mean? Because everyone's good seems to be different. Who is the absolute value of good on whom you can base everything else? You have to have something to judge by to filter out everything else based on that one thing. Can you judge if something is falling or staying still if there's nothing around it by which to judge it to? If you had empty space, you just had an object, let's say it was moving. How would you know it's moving? There's nothing but that object. How would you know the object's moving? You can't. You can't know that that object is moving. There's nothing to base it on. Even an observer themselves in that universe would be another object. We need something absolute to judge on. Our very capability to judge proves that. Our very capability to judge proves God's existence. And at the end of the day, the absolute truth of goodness is God. It's not any one person, not their own definition of what's good and bad. Because if you're going to tell me that good is whatever people make it out to be, well, if I think that hurting people and even doing awful atrocities to people is okay, then apparently it's okay. No, it's not. I'm out of my mind and I'm wrong. It's okay to say that people are wrong. It's okay to say we're wrong. We have to say it or else we'll never turn. Guys, there's an absolute truth, and that's God. I don't live up to that standard. You don't live up to that standard. We need God's help. We're as helpless as little babies who have never swam before trying to splash around in a pool. We need help. If you think you don't need help, you're like that person jumping out of the plane without the parachute. You're like, I don't need it. I live a good enough life. My arms are good enough to save myself from falling. And then you're there flapping your arms, trying to do good works and donate to charity and go to church and do this and that. And then you, bam, splat, hit the ground and you're dead. Whose fault was it? Was it you? Was it the parachute? The parachute was there. I mean, it's not like he was forcing himself on you. God doesn't force himself on us. If we fail, if we suffer, that's not because of God. That's because of our mistakes or others' mistakes. Because we live in a fallen world. If someone jumps out of that plane and dies, and their entire family is crushed, whose fault was it? Was it the parachute's fault? No, it was the person's fault. They didn't put on the parachute. In the same way, when we hurt others, is it God's fault? Is it God's fault that we suffer because of others' mistakes? Is it God's fault because we suffer because of our own mistakes? Is it God's fault that humanity chose to betray God, who's the ultimate source of all goodness? No. It's our fault. Until we take responsibility, we're not going to get anywhere. Until we say, I'm not good enough for God, we can't get anywhere. I'd like to see someone who, just like the other video I said, who isn't mentally ill or lying, to genuinely say that they are God and they can save themselves. To those people, I would say, please create me a universe. We need to wake up, guys. We're not getting any younger. Who really knows the day or the hour you're gonna go? Who really does? Do you know the exact second you'll die? No one does. Not a single person on this earth. But some go prepared and some don't. The difference is that those who were prepared made a choice, and they made that choice before they went. Well, now is our opportunity to make that choice. Those who went unprepared thought they had more time, and it caught them by surprise, like a thief in the night. So, are we going to sit around and let ourselves get robbed? Are we going to sit around and let ourselves hit the ground at terminal velocity? Are we going to put on the parachute? Are we going to stay up and make sure our house is secure all the time? Because I tell you, it's not an easy road. But just like Jesus said, the road to hell is wide and many travel it. If there's so many good people out there, why did Jesus say so many travel that road to hell? It's because so many people think they're living a good life, including me. I'm not excluding me. This is a common excuse I've made, and that's why I feel so passionate to try to help. Because I know the struggle. I know how it feels to lie to yourself. I know how empty it can feel. It's not good, guys. It's not good. I know how hard it is to say, you know what? I'm not good enough. Help me. That's hard. It's almost... We're stubborn. We're stubborn. We love being right. We love turning inward to ourselves. We love thinking we're good. We love thinking we're perfect. But we gotta wake up. We gotta smell the roses. Life isn't what we call it. Life exists separately from what we think it should be. No matter what I think, those cars that are sitting outside of my house right now, they're gonna stay cars. No matter what I think, the sky outside right now, it's gonna stay. It's gonna stay that way. It's not gonna just disappear if I think it's gone. No. We gotta get in check with reality and stop lying to ourselves, or else we're all gonna go to hell. Yeah, that's pretty direct and pretty blunt, but I think nowadays we need to hear it. It's time to wake up. God is here to help us, but you gotta put on that parachute. You gotta give it a chance. You make that choice. I make the choice. We make the choice. Let's make a right choice. Let's accept God's gift of salvation. Let's give up the act and let's live genuine lives.